From a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
There we go. It's a whole lot easier to do a radio show if you unmute the microphone. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to From the Ashes on About Face Media. We are glad you are here on this short week. Joe is pushing buttons. I love when Joe pushes buttons. Oh shit, red lights are lit. That's awesome. That's got to be a good thing, right? I mean, good stuff comes from that. If you are listening to us on WTF Nation, thank you for being here. If you are listening to us on any other platform, thank you. We are glad you are here. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate all of your support. If you would go to your favorite podcast platform, whatever that would be, Spotify, iHeart, any one of those, if you would click the subscribe button, it would mean the world to us. That would allow us to monetize, and that would allow for us to bring more veterans onto About Face Media and allow for us to help more folks. We would really, really appreciate it. Nothing but good things would come from it. We don't keep any of the money. We don't keep any of the money that comes from our sponsors, such as Combat Flip Flops. If you go to Combat Flip Flops and you enter the code About Face, you will get 30% off of your order. It's not just flip flop, folks. They make great t-shirts. They make all kinds of cool stuff, but you will get 30% off of your order. We get 15% of that back to us, and that allows us to, A, keep us on the air. Oh, Heidi, you made it. Hope Chris is doing okay. And that allows us to put more veterans on air. As well as Thigh Huggers. If you go to Thigh Huggers and you enter the code ONESHOT, that's me. That's where we get these cool-ass codes from. All caps, enter the code ONESHOT. You will get 30% off your order. We get 15% of that, and that allows us to keep veterans on the air, put new veterans on. So yeah, if you are looking to start your own radio show, you're looking to get into media, you're looking to get into podcasting, you're looking to get behind a microphone, tell your story, that looks fucking delicious.
It is. Dude, this is my third since Friday.
No shit.
Yeah.
Are you cutting back or what's up?
Like no energy drink.
No kidding. Well, I know you're normally like a white.
Most of my life has been no energy drink, but I either it's zero or I go off the rails and I have 10 a fucking day. So
well, you've been working your tail feathers off, so I mean, I can understand why you'd be pounding them pretty hard, but and they are kind of delicious sometimes. Once in a while, I feel the need for one, so they've been pretty darn good. So, but yeah, what a fucking weekend, man! Talk about 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah. I mean, going from one thing to the next, right to the next. I mean, Saturday afternoon after we left Rocky's seminar, I went, which by the way, huge thanks to Rocky Began. He came out here. He did a fundraising seminar for About Face Media.
What's his name again?
Rocky Began.
Okay.
He is a jiu-jitsu black belt. Rocky. Oh. He did a jiu-jitsu seminar for, he's a black belt out of Blacksmith out of Florida, Niceville, Florida. He did a fundraising seminar for About Face Media, taught all some kind of like fucking dark art stuff. It was pretty cool. Like, how do you fucking put somebody in a toe hold while you've got their back, while they've got your back? That was kind of cool. I've never seen some shit like that before. That was kind of cool. I'll be using that.
I enjoyed his jiu-jitsu.
He's just a good guy. And
but no, I don't like everybody's jiu-jitsu, bro. Some people I think their jiu-jitsu stupid and I don't want to watch it. But I like his style.
He and I have deployed together twice. He's a really good guy. We met each other.
OEF or OIF?
OIF and Kosovo. We were on Camp Monteith together in 99 to 2000, and then we were in Iraq for the initial push together.
I've only walked through Kosovo basically.
You didn't miss much, motherfucker.
I don't even think I have 24 hours there. And I've been there 2 or 3 times, I think.
That's another one of those places in the world that just can't get right. Like even now, I was there and
that's like half the world, bro. Can't get right. We can't get fucking right now.
No shit, man. No shit.
So I'm going back to I'm just going to not watch news at all. You know why?
Tell me.
It doesn't matter to me. And nothing I'm going to do is going to change it. And all I'm going to do is get irritated and upset about it. So I'm going to go back to, I used to, when I first got out of the Army for like, God damn it, until the last 5 or 6 years, I didn't watch news once. I watched the Weather Channel and that's it. A lot happier person.
Yeah. Yeah. I turn on the news in the morning to get the traffic and the weather. And that's it. And honestly, it doesn't change much. So I'm really not missing anything like I could do without.
I do kind of want to know a little bit about weather because it affects me very directly.
Us? Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I get you.
It's like, am I going to, dude, I thought I was going to get either hit by a bolt of lightning or a torrential shit show hailstorm on me 2 nights ago. Like the sun was still up and I was doing my last load and all of a sudden it's like boom and like a black cloud over my head and it starts giving the big drops where I'm like, those are going to turn hard in a second. I'm like, oh fuck. And I was in the tractor, not the skid. So no, you put all this together and it took like T-minus 3 minutes for me to go from perfectly dry to totally soaked and have the damn fucking trailer down, drive all the way up, and it stopped.
I'm happy when you get rain out here. I'm totally cool with you get rain out here.
Oh, me too. Dude, we are, you got to walk the pastures with me. It is crazy how much different they are now because of all this water we've created. Yeah. I also have more mosquitoes this year than I've ever had before.
Icky.
Yeah.
Icky. That's why
they kind of go hand in hand. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I know you use your version of insecticide.
Smoke cigars.
You smoke cigars. What did you use when you're in the military?
Fuck tons of DEET, which is why I'm going to die of cancer.
I was curious if you're a DEET guy.
I mean, yeah.
Were you a DEET guy there, producer?
Look at he's making this motion like, right now.
Dude, I did it everywhere. Like I'm all about the DEET,
bro. Which is why we're all gonna have third arms by the time we're 90. Yeah, exactly.
For those of you who aren't watching,
forehead. Yeah, if you're just listening to this on the radio,
our producer is rubbing his nipples, saying, "I put DEET everywhere, bro. What are you talking about?" Jesus Christ.
His wife is watching at home on the TV, and she's like, "That was hot."
He's not supposed to do that in front of other people.
And my favorite part is like she's got like a projector television, I know, and she's like,
"Oh my god!" So those
we need another camera to put on him.
To cut grass through that sweater are like fucking 3 foot long at Sandy's house on the wall.
We need another camera on that wall that's
just pointed at
Joe. Yeah, exactly.
We'll put it on a separate stream.
It'll have one viewer.
Sandy. She's like, "Hey guys, can you re-angle that camera?"
She's sitting at home like this, sharpening.
Yep. But I feel like she, at least 3 out of 4 weeks, we say something that is liable to get her to get a knife out.
I'm okay with it.
Doesn't take a lot, but
I mean, she scares the shit out of me. I get it. Whatever. So lightning storm last night.
Yeah.
And Metallica is playing in downtown Denver at Empower Field.
Yes.
And like this fucking crazy lightning storm. So I'm standing on my patio last night watching this lightning storm happen. And all I'm thinking to myself is, if Metallica is not playing Ride the Lightning right now, they are missing a golden opportunity. I mean, all of the Denver metro area was at Empower Field. They broke every record.
Dude, it was insane. I almost don't have a friend that didn't go to a concert this weekend.
Yeah.
I told Joe that this morning.
Yeah. Like everybody everybody we know was at Metallica one night or the other. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, you are a Metallica fan, kind of, not really?
I'll listen to Metallica. I'm not a huge Metallica fan. I'm not saying whenever I say that, people get so fucking sensitive. And I'm not saying I do not like them. I like them. I just don't like, I'm not like, oh, it's Metallica. Like a lot of people, they have a bigger, deeper following than I commit to. Go ahead. Guns N' Roses this fucking year.
Fuck off.
Dude, you know what's funny is I was like, when we were at the academy, when you walked in, we were making fun of you about your truck.
Dude,
and then you started trying to bash Guns N' Roses, and like everybody in the room that's our age thinks you're crazy, by the way.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
Axl Rose is one of the greatest motherfuckers.
You're fucking with me now.
I'm not. That dude is the dopest lead singer.
Listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Who the fuck looked at Axl Rose and was like, that is an amazing singing voice. You ever thought about singing in a band? That dude sounds like somebody's butt fucking a cat. No one looks at Axl Rose and is like, this guy's got a great singing voice. I don't understand the Guns N' Roses appeal. I don't get it. Did you ever see him live?
No. I've never seen either one of them live. So,
so the last time I was telling Joe as we were doing show prep tonight, Pantera was killer last night. Yes, they were. I heard Pantera is always amazing live. And I love me some Zakk Wylde. Axl Rose sucks ass.
Who the fuck is this Ryan Wood guy? This fucking guy.
A man of character and taste, apparently.
My God.
What do you call it?
Did you pay him?
Yeah.
I figured.
Checks in the mail, Ryan. What do you call it? And I'm going to break them. I'm going to go against the grain a little bit here too. What do you call it? I saw Metallica in 1991 for the release of the Black Album.
That would have been dope.
It was pretty fucking awesome. Chris Staples and I
wasn't old enough to go to a Metallica concert then.
Thanks. Needed to hear that way. What are you laughing at, motherfucker? You're the same age I am.
He just likes hearing me get one on you.
I wasn't impressed Friday night. I didn't think
from Metallica or
I was not. Now Limp Bizkit, fucking
dude.
banging.
That's what I heard from everybody. Everybody told me that fucking Fred just like ripped it up like he was fucking 20 years old and hungry to be on the top of the billboard or something. Like it was great energy, like was nuts.
And on the ride home, like, so Sandy put on Limp Bizkit on the ride home. And every time Fred Durst said the word motherfucker, Sandy was screaming at the top of her lungs, motherfucker. My wife went straight gangster. I was like, you are the ultimate white chick from the suburbs right now. You ought to see yourself. So she was awesome, dude. We have got to get to Carl before we get to our fucking our guest, because Carl is awesome. You want to pull that one up, Joe, or do I need to pull it up on the phone? What are we doing? Because this one is fucking. Have you read? You haven't read this one yet? You're gonna love this, dude. This is made for you.
I saw this though. I saw the picture in the corner. I have no idea what it is though. What's
so? This comes from our friends, and the picture's even better. This comes from our friends at Task and Purpose. God, Task and Purpose. If you ever go out of business, we are gonna lose this whole segment because this is awesome. Minot Air Force Base is being overrun by squirrels. Nuclear missile base in North Dakota is rolling out a 3-phase effort to deal with the latest wave of ongoing issues with dark rats. This is not a joke. This is dead serious, dude.
Wait, did you say dark rats?
That's exactly what it says.
Is this racist or they're like dark ops?
Look at the fucking
that
picture.
Doesn't look like a racist one. It looks like, and it doesn't look like dark ops either. It looks like a screaming, angry little.
Yeah.
Ground squirrel.
Thousands of saboteurs have reached Minot Air Force Base. They're known for their ability to tunnel underground, their stealthy nature, small size, and risk they pose to infrastructure. They are squirrels, and personnel at Minot Air Force Base cannot stand them. Imagine being a world superpower. Minot Air Force Base is where our nuclear weapons are launched from. And it's overrun by squirrels, and they can't figure that fucking shit out. How's that make you feel?
I'll tell you how to figure it out. Hey, letting you guys know, I can solve your problem in about 48 hours.
Here we go. Let's go.
All I got to do is round up my little pack of pussies and let them wild for fucking 48 hours, bro.
Empty out the Denver Humane Society of all
fucking
cats.
ground squirrel decided to have a litter by the shop.
Yup.
Dude, you should see the shop. There's fucking dead bodies everywhere. I don't know, like they just popped or something like there's it's craziness the last day. It's so gross.
It's like there's been a massacre.
Oh my God. They're such fucking savages, bro. Yeah.
Is there a murder going on outside by the shop?
Dude, there's murders there's literally just dead bodies riddled all around the shop, inside, outside, everything. They had
this is perfect timing.
I don't know if they found like a little area where there a bunch of them are, or that literally there's a litter in there or something, but there is fucking dead bodies everywhere. It's so funny.
Minot Air Force Base, reach out to us. Reach out to From the Ashes LLC.
You know what?
Tell me.
We'll just trade him a cat problem. Next week, be like, all right, so Minot has this stray cat problem. There's pussy everywhere.
Well, we'd like to introduce you to our From the Ashes dog breeding LLC. Rambo and Marshmallow will be up in just a few hours, and they're going to fix your stray cat problem. That would be fucking awesome. We'll sell them every cure after that.
Every year or two. We just unfucked a problem we fixed like a year or two ago. Dude, we should go into politics. Like we're
geniuses.
Yeah.
We're going to be thousandaires.
Create a problem, provide the immediate solution, and save everybody's life, even though you created the problem. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like a genius plan, but
turn it into a liberal.
That's the meanest thing you've ever said to me. That is literally the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
This is why the producer doesn't put his face on the camera.
Exactly right there. Exactly right there. Holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Oh my, Glenn Johnson is here. Holy shit. Glenn, I'm glad you're here, man. Good to see you, bud. I'm glad to see you're upright and about and doing well. That's good shit. Holy fuck, man. I love this. This is we're gonna be
squirrels. So
we're gonna be thousandaires.
are the squirrels like getting into on-base housing? Or are they getting into the nuclear plant? If they are they growing a third leg? Are they growing larger? Are they chewing wires in something not going to launch correctly? What is actually going on besides there's a bunch of little
Therein lies.
I love squirrels, by the way.
Do you?
You never saw my old house. There's no squirrels here. There's ground squirrels. There's not like squirrels. There's like the little
there's not enough trees out here really for squirrels, is there?
Trees.
I mean,
squirrels are just not right around my area.
Yeah.
But no, I used to have like cool like feeders all over for them. I'd hand feed them and shit.
Really?
I love squirrels. They're so funny. People say all these horror stories. They never got me. So I never got them in my attic or like issues with them, but I had them like crazy.
Well, you also don't have a nuclear weapon in your backyard, so that I'm aware of. So, I mean, yeah, but I mean, let's say you've got a nuclear launch facility, or
that would
several
freak
of
me
them.
out.
Yeah,
What if they shoot a wire?
That's what I'm saying.
But then what again? Every warehouse, industrial place you've ever been in where they manufacture anything, have you not seen mice everywhere?
Yeah.
So isn't this just something that we accepted, or they probably have to deal with? Not us. I don't want to work in a nuclear plant.
I would think that they would have a cure
Maybe
for this already. Yeah. That's what it is. Putin and Iran have gotten together and they released a shit ton of fucking squirrels in North Dakota.
Guys.
This is their answer. It's a conspiracy. It's a ploy.
It's a pretty pathetic answer, but
it's a good one. It seems to be working. I mean, look what they did for the Everglades with all the pythons.
Oh my God.
That's the other answer. I love where this is going. I feel like now's the time we should bring on Charley.
Yes.
I know he's in the green room. Look at that dude. That dude is super relaxed right now. That dude's chilling at Casbar Cigars. Charley, how are you, man?
I'm good. Why aren't you having a cigar, Rob?
Here in the super secret location, you can't get cigars past security. So, but normally, yes. Don't you worry.
Should I put mine out? I almost feel guilty smoking this.
No. That's a $17 cigar, man. You're at the mecca of cigars right now.
And you know what? This place will forever stay in my memory because this is what I talk about, this grassroots, how we met, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no mixer. There was no, get together. Bro, we just started talking.
I know.
And it worked. And here we are.
Yep. And I don't know if you've heard, January 10th, I think I told you this over text earlier today. January 10th is Veteran Cigar Night at Casbar Cigar.
January or July?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said January. It's July 10th. So coming up next week or 2 weeks from now is Veteran Cigar Night. All are welcome. If you are in the Colorado metro area, show up at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., I believe it is, at Casbar Cigar in Parker, Colorado, and you will be welcome at Veteran Cigar Night. And we will all sit down. We'll smoke a cigar. We'll shoot the breeze, and we'll talk trash, and we'll make fun of each other. And it'll be a relaxing night,
man. You know what? Yeah. I might come up here just for that. I got a buddy that I went to college with, known him forever, and he lives here now. So it's even more reason to come up, right? See an old college roommate and then hang out with you guys. I love it.
It's going to be an awesome night. Toby, the manager, is sponsoring the first one. And then I guess a couple of cigar manufacturers are going to be sponsoring a couple of ones after that. I know Youngblood Cigars. We've had Todd Youngblood on the show before. So Youngblood Cigars is going to sponsor one night. It's going to be a rolling thing. It's going to be a good thing.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. But enough about that. Let's talk about flags for the Flagless. Let's start at the beginning. So Charley, first of all, welcome to From the Ashes on About Face Media. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to be a part of the show. Let's start at the beginning. Are you a veteran yourself?
I'm a first responder, law enforcement veteran.
Even better. Tell us how you got started. What you were law enforcement. What did you do?
Bro, I was a cop in Tucson, Arizona for 20 years.
Wow.
I think I told you this. My very first day on the job, right? You get out of the academy, they put you with your senior FTO, was 9/11. 9/11/01 was my first day, boots on the ground in the city of Tucson.
Wow. What a night to start.
Yeah. So, and it was, like I tell people, when you're in the academy, They're teaching you about DUIs. They're teaching you about traffic investigation, homicide investigation. You think they ever talked about what happens if a terrorist attacks? Nothing. So everything was just fly by seat your pants, just go, right? We're only taking priority calls, all these little low level calls. Sorry, we're not getting to you. Suspicious activity or, things like that. That's where we're going to. It was just mayhem in Tucson, right? I mean, we have a big Air Force base. We had Davis Monthan out there. So there was some concern. Raytheon is based out of Tucson, right? But anyway, just
What a
that's how
first day, man. I can't imagine.
that's how it started. So from there, patrol, I was a member of the SWAT team for 5 years. I taught at the academy, rifle and pistol handling qualification out at the academy. And I was on a walkie, like I did everything, and that's what I love. I didn't want to promote. I just wanted to be on the streets. I wanted to be out helping, teaching, or mixing it up. There's been a cop in my family since the 1920s. I had great uncles that were cops in San Francisco in the 1920s. And even to this day, there's family members that are cops out in California. So it's just literally, it was in my blood to do this. It took me a little bit to figure that out. But when I did, I tell you, it's the greatest job in the world. Greatest job in the world, being a cop.
What are your thoughts on the state of policing today on June 30th, 2025? What are your thoughts on the state of policing? And keep in mind, no, this is just between you and I. Nobody else is listening. Conversation here. What are your thoughts on the state of policing today?
If I had someone who was wanting to go into be in law enforcement, to be a cop, I would discourage them from doing it.
Why is that?
And that's in Tucson specifically, because there's not the support. You got to remember 2001 when I went in, and now I joined before 9/11, so I didn't know what was coming. But 9/11, man, we had cops could do no wrong. People welcome the cops with open arms, right? We're catching bad guys. We're going, those days are over, right? You've got people spitting in faces over immigration policies. You have guys wearing body cameras, right? So none of that stuff was taking place in the early part of my career. I think it's now it's a thankless job. It is such hard work and it is laborious. I tell people, you do 20 years on the streets as a patrol cop in any city, dude, it takes its toll, And so
I would agree. But I think we hear about those that don't support what our police officers do, but I think there is a lot of support for police. And I may be, I'm a very biased opinion. Let me clarify on that one, because I have people that I love that are in the industry, a lot of friends, a lot of family members, but I am a very biased opinion. So caveat that. But I think there is a lot of support in there, but you don't hear that support.
That's
often.
what I was going to say next. And One Shot was talking about, he's done watching the news, right? He's not going to watch the news anymore. He said, that's the same way. You turn on any channel on TV, what do we see? We're seeing cops get hammered. This happens, a riot here. People chucking cinder blocks. People, it just, there's no law and order. At least now I'm looking at California. It's just tough, man. And I think that, yes, there is this silent respect out there from people, but it's the people that are protesting, causing all the ruckus, that's making it hard, I think, for guys that want it. If my wife or my husband, it'd be a tough conversation to have with them to say, I encourage you to go be a patrol cop right now. That's hard.
I talk to the people I love that are in policing now, and I ask them, hey, what do you think? You think you want to stay in policing? You want to move on to a different career field? And when I ask them that question, the words that they say are, I can't see myself doing anything else. It is truly a calling. They want to serve their local communities. Yep. They want to do it.
Dude, so my follow-up question to that would be, okay, when it comes to 20 years, are you going to keep going? Or now that you're fully invested in the retirement, are you out? And that's the same with me. A lot of guys, and I retired now 3 years ago. There's nothing that will make me happier than being a cop, right? But, a lot of guys, that's it. They're in it. They're not in it for the money. They're in it. And I wanted to help others. That was my calling too. Is like, I had a younger brother. He was bullied. He was picked up. And so I always wanted to stick up for the little man. I want to stick up for the weakling, right? The person that couldn't defend themselves. That was part of the reason I wanted to go into that. But once it hit 20, that's it, man. Not many guys stay after 20. There's few, but Yeah, there's not much else to do, and I don't want to leave. Right, I've put in 10 years. 10 years for what? I've got the retirement. If I stay another 10 or another 5, I got this nice retirement coming in. So they're looking long term at what they want to do. And if you would ask me that in the middle of my career, shit, I wouldn't want to leave. I had loved it.
There's a guy sitting in there in the chairs behind you inside named Walt, and he's been doing it for like 30 plus years. And I don't know how that guy's been doing it for 30 plus years. And good on him. That is a calling. And he's doing it because he is training up that next generation of folks that want to do it, which, I mean, that's a pretty impressive calling.
And you and I have seen Walt in person. Walt, he's been, you can see, it's played a toll on him, has it not? I mean,
exactly. And I think it's our responsibility to, this generation that's now these 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds, 25-year-olds, we have to keep them from becoming jaded and just beaten down. So every time that 23-year-old, 25-year-old has that rough call, hey man, what did you do afterwards? Did you go to the gym? Did you meditate? Did you do some yoga? What did you do? Did you go to the bar and get drunk? Or did you, go home, kick the dog? What did you do after that rough call?
No one ever talked to me like that when I was out there. I've been on calls, as you can imagine, where, one second I'll see somebody just waving a gun around, and then 30 seconds later, they're dead, right? We shoot them, or there's a big shooting, and now this guy's dead. And you go home. At the time, right? I was a single guy, bachelor. I go home by myself. I'm witnessing traumatic events taking place right in front of me as it unfolds. There's no yoga. There was no one calling you up at home or the next day coming into VSU. Hey, look, hey, all right, see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Start your shift. So
well, and guys like this right here who open up their business, their jiu-jitsu academy, and say, hey, come into my academy. You and I are going to spend some time one-on-one. We're going to spend some time, rolling just you and I, and we're going to beat it out a little bit, and we're going to get some aggression out, and you're going to beat my ass. We're going to get it out.
And
or
as we know,
what you're doing right now, sit there in that cigar shop, and we're going to shoot the breeze a little bit. You're going to vent. We're going to talk. Cigars.
And
are
I'll
mental
tell
health.
you guys already know this. Jiu-jitsu is a lifesaver for patrol cops. When we're out there and we have to go hands-on with someone, as you know, this one shot, bro, jiu-jitsu is where it's at. These guys maybe they're high on something, maybe they're drunk, maybe they're not. But if you have that little bit of an edge in some sort of street brawl, or you got to take someone down, jiu-jitsu, I'm telling you, if you haven't already said this, I'll tell it to everybody that wants to be a cop, get in and start rolling.
This dude is a force multiplier. He is saving lives every single day.
The way I always put it is, those of you that spend more than 5 minutes of a career, especially the 5, 10, 15, 20-year guys, there is going to be a moment of your career on duty where you're going to say, if I wouldn't have trained jiu-jitsu, if I hadn't taken responsibility for my own welfare in my own life, I'd be fucking dead. And almost every cop I've ever talked to at 10 plus years is like, dude, there was this fucking moment where, thank God I did something, otherwise I'd be dead. You know, there's too many times where you're fighting somebody on something larger, younger, more powerful, faster, and way angrier than you are. No matter how angry you think you are,
right?
And they're amped.
Nobody wants their constitutional rights taken away. You're going to jail, bro. Yeah. Or some of these guys, they're going back to DOC. They're going back to prison.
Yeah.
So it's game on, right? But being a former firearms instructor, I would say the same thing about being proficient on your firearms, right?
Fuck yeah.
So many times you get people that would just come out and qualify that once or twice a year, whatever it was, never see him again. Dude, you got to be kidding me, right? Same thing as the jiu-jitsu, your firearm. You're going to need it one day. And if you don't know what the hell you're doing, especially in a panic, stressful situation, it's not going to help. So you're right. There is going to be a time where jiu-jitsu or your firearm, you need to be proficient in both. And your head, right? Yeah. Rob, what we were talking about, you got to keep that head clear. You got to forget about what happened.
Drill with your belt. Understand where everything, all your rigging is. Like, you should be a professional in your profession. And there's there's too big of a percentage of people that aren't being professionals in their profession in jobs that require a uniform and a firearm.
I was
You
an
know?
FTO. Yeah. And I would tell my rookies, I go, this is one job. There's very few in the world, but this is one job where people are training to kill you right now.
Yeah.
Think about that. They would show us videos from in the academy, right? Guys in DOC being trained by former cops who were jammed up and they get put away. Those former cops, so they can live, are teaching the bad guys how to defeat us, how to defeat our holsters, how to defeat our, our techniques and stuff. So you got to remember every day, I told myself, somebody is training to want to kill us today. And you have
I'll
to
be
have
honest,
that. As crazy as that sounds, you
that's
need to have
why-
that mentality as a street cop.
Yeah, that's why I think it's important for our leadership and instructors in jiu-jitsu not to be teaching weapons retention and disarming techniques to general civilians. I think that's more of a personal belief of mine,
Yeah,
but I'm not.
I agree.
I'm not showing you how to disarm and deal with holsters and somebody grabbing your sidearm and stuff. If you're, the random just Lowe's worker, not that he's any more important, but you never know who's going to have a bad day and turn and all this different stuff. And I don't want to set up guys down the road. So that's one of the things, like the GST Gracie program. They only teach, actively on duty officers. Some things
And
like
I
that.
think,
Where I'm like,
as a civilian, even now, right? I was on the offense for 20 years, right? I was taking it to the bad guy, whether that's SWAT, and I was breaking down doors, or I'm arresting people, I'm chasing, I'm on the offense. Now that I'm retired, I look at it,
your
I'm
defense.
on defense. Yep.
Yeah. Whether you
I worry
want to
about
be or
my
not,
friends,
you are on defense.
I worry about my family. I worry about myself. That's it. So I would encourage civilians who are not law enforcement, same thing. You're to try to take someone's gun away from them, and you have no reason to be doing that. You're going to end up dead, right? I mean, just walk away, be a good witness, and just be thankful that you went home. That's how I would put it.
You talked about the body cams earlier. I think that the only thing that body cams have done for the policing industry is shown how fucked up our American public is.
And how fucked up they treat our officers.
Yeah, I think it has done. All it has done is shown that police officers 98% of the time are in the right, and that we as the American public suck.
Yeah. And what I'll say is people that complain about law enforcement, this is what I tell them. Have you ever done a ride along?
I was literally going to bring that up. I was just about to bring that up.
They haven't done a ride along. LeBron James, not too long ago, he talked crap about the law enforcement, whatever's going on out of LA.
Strapping on, bitch.
Yeah.
Just do a ride along. And I'm not saying do it for all 10 hours. Just go ride with the patrol cop for 4 hours. See what they do. I'm telling you, it'll change your attitude. There's so much that goes on that the general public never sees.
Yep.
And some people don't want to know. They want to keep their head in the sand, right? Because these guys are out there at night protecting them. But you're going to bitch about the cops? Just sit in the car. And you have that right. You're a citizen, wherever, Parker, I don't know. Some agencies allow it, some don't. But I would encourage you, do a ride along, and then tell me how much you hate the cops.
You know what? As much as I've been around law enforcement and been a working service member, just not as Leo, but I was even blown away of when I was on my ride along. I'm like, I already know this happens, but being there and seeing that, it really does change your perspective.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. So if people ever come to you and complain about the cops, first question I'll ask them, have you ever done a ride along? And I will tell you, almost all of them say, nope, never have. Nope. So then don't bitch about it. So you're
not speaking from an educated perspective is the problem. I'll listen to anybody talk to me about anything that they have some wisdom and knowledge on. But if it is something you have no wisdom and no knowledge on and no experience, I have no fucking care to listen to the fucking wasted oxygen coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, you're just talking out of your ass. Yeah, and I don't give a fuck.
I didn't mean to get too sidetracked on the law enforcement.
No.
I was good at what I did. I was passionate. I was a Medal of Valor recipient, for some of the work I did. I loved it. But like I said, during that time, I was on patrol in downtown Tucson. Right? It's an old mining town, railroad town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on patrol and I start seeing all these empty flagpoles in front of all these historic buildings, right?
Well, we're going to get to your nonprofit. I apologize, man. I didn't even pull away.
Right.
I asked this question
and
intentionally.
I wanted to get back on it, not to
No,
Not too
you're
far.
okay, man. Hey, it's our radio show. We can do whatever the fuck we want to do with it. we can talk about titties and beer if we want.
I didn't want someone to say, "Fuck, we'll never have that guy back on again." All he does is run his mouth about cop. Oh,
Fuck no, man. It's our show. We do whatever we want to do with it. So yeah, you're okay, man. We can talk for as long as we want. I already actually texted the next guest and was like, "Hey, man, you're good for the night. We got you. So you're good, man. I got you for as long as I want you.
Sorry.
You can ash that cigar. You're okay."
You know,
and
being a cop for 20 years,
matters.
I got lots of stories. But man, the American flag too.
I have to go back for one split second before we lose this.
Yeah.
You're going to have to educate me because I know this much about your guys' awards and decorations. Isn't the Medal of Valor pretty fucking high for you guys?
Yeah, other than that and or the Scarlet Shield, we call it, where if you're hurt in the line of duty, right? It's like a
Purple Heart.
Purple Heart. Yeah, Purple Heart.
Okay.
So we have a Scarlet Shield where we are. But yeah, Medal of Valor would be you put your life in danger and risked it to save others, right?
Okay.
And so that was documented. It was a big call.
Besides the Purple Heartish thing, is there any award higher?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, see, he was beating around the bush. I know exactly what that fucking
Yeah.
award is. You're like a Medal of Honor awardee.
He's being humble.
Military, but Leo.
Yeah,
I know your award is.
He's being humble.
Yeah, that's
not,
pretty fucking cool.
because this is what every cop, we all have a story. We all have a life,
Yeah.
So is my award that I received, somebody witnessed it or someone documented it and wrote it up and it went up the chain. How many times, how many law enforcement guys, how many military guys have done something heroic, life-saving that didn't get past the trench that they were in. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, okay, yeah, I did something that was worthy and people got attention of it. It was in the papers, it was in the news and so forth. But bro, it was one day out of 20 years,
Yeah, but that one day in that moment can define a lot of what you've done for 20 years,
And I will tell you, I'm sure you guys think it, my training kicked in. Like, something starts happening like that, you get dialed in and it's just all the training that you go through paid off.
And we talk about things like this all the time. It's like, this is one moment where there's 1,000 that didn't even get put on paper that meant more. So yeah, we get you, man. We're on the same page.
I joke all the time because I am Purple Heart awardee, and like people think that's the coolest one. I'm like, you guys realize that is the enemy's marksmanship badge. It is the last award I ever want to talk about.
I didn't see cover quick enough. Maybe, whatever.
I made a boo boo, or somebody else boo booed, or they won, for a split moment, or they got a notch on their belt, So
yeah.
So other than cigars and cop stuff, the whole reason that we have Charley here tonight is because he runs an amazing nonprofit called Flags for Flagless. Charley, tell us about the birth of Flags for Flagless. Where did this come from?
So to go back where I was, I apologize. I was on patrol in the downtown division of Tucson. Being a cop, right? You're always looking for something that's out of the ordinary, something that doesn't look right. Dude, I just started driving around and I see, as I'm looking at buildings, I'm looking for suspicious activity. I start seeing all these empty flagpoles in front of old plumbing businesses, in front of banks, in front of all these other businesses that had no flag, had no rope on it. But here's this pole that had been there, some of them for 75 years. And I said, you know what? Somebody thought it was a good idea to put a flag up. Or there was a flag flying, when this building was built in 1930. What happened? Why did that change? So what I learned talking to business owners, right? People are just barely making it in the black. They don't have a lot of disposable income to spend on other things other than their business, right? Paying their employees, the food costs, whatever it is, cigars, overhead. So in order to get a flagpole up and running again, you got to get a bucket truck or a scissor lift or a cherry picker, right? You got to take the rope up to the top of the pole, re-rope it, right? And that's money, that's time that a lot of people don't have. So I came up with the idea that I reached out to the local electric company, Tucson Electric Power. Those guys, a lot of them former veterans, or are veterans rather. And I just said, look, this is what I want to do. A lot of these people need help, trying to get the rope through, get it up there. And they said, sure, no problem, we'll help you. That was 10 years ago. I've re-roped probably close to 200 flagpoles. And this has then turned into classroom flags. State of Arizona, an American flag is required every public classroom. That's a state law.
Hell yeah.
I got a donor in Tucson that if I reach out to him and say, hey, I got an elementary school that needs flags in the classrooms, boom, he'll help me out, right?
That's awesome.
But then it also, this will tie into the veteran side of it, and it's pretty moving. People started coming, it was in the paper, right? This is a big deal at the time. Flag Day 2014, I put up the first flag. It was a big to-do, because Flag Day used to be a really big deal in this
A
country.
big deal.
And for whatever reason, right, it goes by the wayside. So people started reaching out to me and they said, hey, my dad served in Vietnam, or my dad was in Korea or World War II, and I have a casket flag that was given to the family when my dad passed, right? For the most of us know that any veteran, when they die, whether it's in action or just, lifespan, that family, closest family member gets a casket flag, which is 9.5 feet long, 5 feet wide. And so the people would tell me, hey, I got this casket flag and it's just sitting in a drawer at home, or sitting on a dresser collecting dust. I want you to have it and find a home for it.
That's pretty moving.
Wow. That's like something I wasn't expecting.
Heavy.
Yeah. This isn't something you walk into Ace and get. This isn't something you go into walk. This is representing someone who served our country, raised their hand, said, I'll go. And now they're passed and I have their flag. So my wheels start spinning, and oftentimes, I'll take on a task without really knowing how it's going to end, but I'll take it on because I know it'll work out. I'll figure out something. And sure enough, I'm a graduate of the University of Arizona. I have connections in the athletics department at U of A. I approached my contact there and said, look, you guys fly an American flag at every home football game. Why don't we fly a different family's casket flag at every home football game? He said, Charlie, he's like, are you kidding me? Not only will I do it, I'll give 4 tickets to the family, and I want them on the field for the national anthem. No Jumbotron, no camera, no nothing. It's a silent nod from the University of Arizona to these veterans' families that they're on the field for the national anthem. And so when this first happened, I would talk to some of the young interns who would take these families down the field, and I'd be like, hey, tell me, how does the family, how do they handle it? What do they do? He's like, Charlie, we got to step back. These people are balling. Because you got 40, 50,000 people in a stadium, right? Usually for kickoff, beginning of the game, it's all this hoopla. The entire stadium of 50,000 people is quiet and looking at grandpa's flags in the national anthem. Are you kidding me? So I've had a partnership with them now for 8 years. Every home football game, I've got a different family that is represented by the American flag. This year is the first year I'm going to hook up with the Gold Star families. So it's going to hit a little bit harder. Now, every family that will be on there will have someone who was killed
In the line of duty.
In the line of duty, action, whatever. Yeah. So it's going to be all Gold Star families this year on the field for the national anthem. And again, there's no camera. There's no Jumbotron. They don't show them. And that's what I want. I don't want it to. This is a private moment for the family. This is about the flag. This is about that person that served. That's it. I don't want to make a big production out of it. And they don't either. They want to kind of have that time to themselves. So that right there, I mean, there's so many other stories I could do, but that connection right there, man, is something I look forward to every year, is getting names or, helping people go through and go to the season, go to these games and talk to them afterwards. So when the game's over, I get the flag back. I'll put it in a hard shadow box. Shadow box, for those who don't know, right? Hard-sided wood, glass front where the flag would go into. I will get a shadow box for that flag, and I'll put a tab on the bottom of it that'll say, this flag flew over University of Arizona Stadium on November 2nd, 2025 in honor of Staff Sergeant, Foley, United States Marine Corps, blah, blah, blah. And then I give it back to him.
Wow.
And now here it is. It's just so much goes on about the flag. So many people are down on it, or so many people, but I got stories, and I'm sure you guys do too, on what that flag means to people. And it's just it takes my mind off of the 20 years of crap that I deal with, right? All the nonsense. To be able to give back and ask for nothing in return, I couldn't ask for anything better, right? All I want to do is give back, whether it's to my country, to people that served, their families. It's an awesome, and I'm inviting both of you if you ever in Tucson, if you ever come down Southern Arizona, you should come to one of those football games and witness it, what the families go through.
Yes.
It's pretty
We
sweet.
I would love to do that. That is one of the coolest things I think I've heard of somebody doing, and I did not know that they were doing that. I'm surprised that, like, I feel like we get to Rumorville, we hear a lot of things that happen, and I've never heard of that. And that is one of the coolest things I think I've heard.
That's my kind of patriotism. That
As
is
far as I
absolutely my
know,
kind of patriotism.
it's the only university, it's the only college in the country that does it. And
Right
why
now.
can't it's so easy in my mind. This is like dude, you got the flag, you just find veterans families. It's an easy thing to do, but people just don't.
It basically costs nothing. You're already doing the national anthem at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
You're already raising a flag. The only difference is we're adding some power and emotion to what's happening, and some therapy for those families.
Yeah. And you guys can imagine, even now I get a little emotional about it. I mean, to have 50,000 people saying the national anthem and they're all looking at Grandpa's flag above this, bro, that's heavy. That's heavy stuff. So
that very
I've
much
tried
is.
to make it where I approach someone, a business owner, and say, look, you have a flagpole. Do you want a flag on it? And I'll do everything else. I got the rope, I got the flag, and I have the ability to re-rope it. I want to make it so that it's very hard for someone to say, I don't want it. And that's only happened once. I've had one person who had the pole and I offered everything. They said no. So out of 200, I got a pretty good batting average. Yeah. So,
Who is that person?
Yeah.
Nothing like putting that on the fucking air. Yeah, I know. No, don't do it. I
drive by it often and I just shake my head. I almost, doing what we do. Sometimes I feel like I just want to put one up without asking permission, but no, you said no
midnight.
to me. Yeah. You said no to me 5 years ago, 6 years. I don't forget. You're the one. It can stay empty. And if people start asking you about it, you could tell them, no, I don't want a flag up, but
and I think, I think in this day and age with all of the, we end every show, every one of these shows with a segment we call Never Forgotten. And it's, someone that our nation has lost. And I know for a fact that we're never going to get through all of the names. We only do this show once a week. We don't have enough years in our. You could fill up every stadium in this
just
nation.
Go look at Arlington, right? I mean, come on. Yeah. Or when I go to San Diego, I love going out to Fort Rosecrans, just walking. Yeah. Just all you gotta do is look at those two places, and I mean, you could be saying names till forever.
Every single stadium in this nation, every football game, everything. Yeah. What does Ernie says? All the trivial bullshit goes viral. Here's a story that deserves to go viral. Awesome work by Charley. I agree completely with everything you're saying, Ernie. I agree completely. Yeah, that's exactly it. This is the kind of stories that need the attention. I could not agree more. Yeah, that what you're doing is powerful and it needs a whole lot more attention.
And what's so awesome, again, I go back to how we started. You and I didn't know each other from Adam. You know what I'm saying? We just sat here and had a smoke. Something about it clicked. That grassroots friendship, if you will, meeting one shot, seeing one shot meeting. Like, this is what it's about. Just this connection. And it's because of the flag.
Yep.
I love it. So many stories. And there's so much positivity around it, Just you tell people if they get down on it, our country or the flag, give them my number, bro. I'll tell you stories that'll make you cry. That'll make you like. Oh,
there are more things in our nation that are bringing us together than people realize. They work hard to divide us, but there are more things in our nation that are bringing us together than people even ever realize.
We always got to remember, and all of us know this because we've probably been around a situation that might have hit the news and known how much different it really is. Or seen all these, like, they're showing this like there's a lot of people that's supporting our country right now inside this country. And we're highlighting the extreme crazies that are not,
This has been the best story leading up to the 4th of July that we've ever done. This has been the perfect lead in to the 4th of July, the birthday of the nation. This has been the best story about it. Charley, what does the future of flags for Flagless look like?
I'm in talks with a news television production company, a big one. They have been told about what I do, and there's talk of doing a TV series.
That's what I'm talking about. That's good shit.
I don't know, Rob, if you saw, I've got a Ford pickup truck that I've got kind of tricked out and just for traveling. And so they were like, hey, let's do like an Anthony Bourdain meets American pickers. And let's just follow Charley as he goes through the back roads of South Dakota, go to Minot, North Dakota, where squirrels are.
Watch out for the squirrels.
Yeah, be careful.
And
Don't let them get in that 40 years.
what are those squirrels doing in the middle of winter? Can't they just wait for winter and those things are dead? But yeah, bro, talk to me in January, February what those squirrels are doing. But so
Getting eaten by cats if we have our way.
It's never ending. You know, I come to Parker, I see empty flagpoles. I travel everywhere. I go to Provo, Utah, San Diego. Bro, and you guys start seeing it too now. There's empty flagpoles everywhere. So there's no end. You know, I can just keep doing it, and
you know
that's
what's
what I want to
crazy?
do.
Because as he was saying that, I was like, dude, there's an empty flagpole in Parker. I don't believe it. And as I was doing it, I can picture one right now. Right, it's right by the cast bar too.
We need him to
within
drive.
like 3 blocks.
We
It's
need
right. Yes,
Well-
it's that one right over there.
But in the parking lot, last time I was here, Rob, there was a flag on that flagpole.
Yep.
Today,
Oh,
No
not
flag.
that one. No, there's on the other side of the
Okay.
street. There's a business.
We need to show him
within like 2 or 3 blocks.
we need to show him where the coffee cabin is.
Oh yeah, you know where the coffee cabin is, right?
This is the biggest goddamn flag you've ever seen in your
this
life.
motherfucker.
oh,
One of our friends had sold it last year.
Yeah.
But for many,
Wes.
many years, an absolutely amazing human being who's dedicated a lot of his time, money, and efforts to supporting Leo, fire, military, et cetera, et cetera. He has the
largest
biggest flag
flag
in Parker, and it's at his coffee shop across the street from Murdoch's.
Yeah.
okay.
Very large.
So
Yeah.
if I go there tomorrow
Yes.
on my way out and have a coffee, I'll see a big.
Oh,
ass
yeah.
Oh
flag
yeah.
flying.
Unfortunately, you won't get to have one with Wes anymore. But,
but you can't
there's a
miss
good
it.
family that bought it too, so they do some good
But
things.
Charlie,
to
I
have a cup of coffee under a big flag on my way out. I mean, why not?
Right.
It's a good.
Oh, yeah.
good way to leave
Oh, it's
Parker,
pretty
so-
cool.
Charlie, I could talk to you all night about this, and I'm
know. I
rapidly
apologize.
I know. I just
approaching
looked at the
this.
clock.
Yeah, exactly. We've done the
Jesus
whole
Christ.
damn show, but I need to
Oh,
pass
shit.
you off to my hetero life mate over here. He's going to give you all these outgoing instructions. He's all yours,
All
my
right.
boy.
I already think I know the answers, but we're gonna have you back as long as you're okay with that. I cannot believe it's 6:52. Holy crap, Charlie! We gave you 2 minutes at the end. If there's anything we skated over, skimmed through, or you really wanted to get out before you got off the show, or maybe pre-planned that we didn't, now is you got about 2 minutes to try and crush all that in there, which I'm sure you have 2 minutes of. Please don't forget to give us your handles, information about how to donate to your foundation. Please give us that. I promise you, the people that listen to this show will love to hear how they can help out you. I'm interested. I love this. It's awesome.
I thought you were going to ask me about what's my life-saving tip. I was listening to some of your podcasts about.
Oh, that's coming
No,
next.
it's-
Don't worry.
That's safety
All right,
brief. Safety brief is
So-
coming. Don't worry.
So my 2 minutes, what I tell people is that the American flag doesn't belong to a news corporation. The American flag doesn't belong to a political party. The American flag belongs to the American people, right? So if I wear a flag pin on my lapel, or I fly a flag at my house, if you think I vote a certain way, or you think I watch a certain news channel, that's on you, bro. What's wrong with, I just love my country, and I got friggin' stories that I could tell you about that flag, right? So I want people to, if I put a flag up, people are going to think that I vote for or I support. Who cares what they think, right? This is what it goes back to. You're flying the flag for your reasons. So wear that flag pin on your lapel. Fly that flag at your house. You own it, right? No one else does. Flags for the Flagless on Instagram. It's flags, the number 4, Flagless on Instagram. If you go through there, you can donate. There's a little PayPal thing I have up there. That's the only way. Or get a hold of me and we could figure something else out. But PayPal, I am a 501c3 registered with the IRS. I can give you if someone needs a tax EIN
Receipt.
number, I can provide that. That's it, man. And it's just me. I don't have a partner. I don't have a club or a group. Bro, it's just me going around doing this. So, there's gas involved. There's certainly buying flags, right? I mean, I get them at a little bit cheaper of a cost, but at the end of the day, man, it takes its toll. But I won't stop. So people want to help out. If you want to see more flags up around the country, the community, I'm a good guy to start with. So
Yes, you are.
You are. You're
I'm
doing
on
it
Facebook.
right.
Yeah, Flags for the Flagless on Facebook. Flags number 4 Flagless on Instagram, or my personal Facebook account, which pretty much is just the flags. It's Charles Foley, and it'll pop up. And you can
All
just,
scrolling across the bottom of the screen if you're watching us on
Cool.
video tonight.
Yep.
So
And Twitter, yeah, I am on Twitter. I forgot. I don't use Twitter that much, but I probably should. But, yeah.
And It sounds like you've watched the show a few times, so you already know what's coming.
Yes, you. I had to step out for a split second, but I think I caught that you used to be in the Navy or something. So you've done a safety brief before.
Yep. He was not a veteran, but yes, he knows what the safety brief is.
I thought from something I picked up, I thought you were before, but either way, do they do safety briefs like in big weekends for Leos?
They will, but I will even look at it more. When I was on SWAT, we would do a lot of safety briefs, but also the debriefs. That was more, where that stuff would come.
All right. So, well, let's get it. Let's get your safety brief. You get one topic or one note. What do you want to tell us?
I wish if you don't want to be a victim, listen to that voice in your head that's telling you this isn't good, right? If more people listen to that voice in their head that was giving them a heads up or a warning, or something's not right, something doesn't feel right, don't say, oh, that's nonsense, or, oh, I'm profiling. That's that Neanderthal gene that we have in us that is telling us, don't go down that alley, cross the street. It's okay, right? If something just doesn't, and as a cop, I would tell my rookies, if something doesn't feel right, stay with your gut. And I wish more people would do that. So that's my safety brief is, I know we all have voices in our head, but the one that's telling you this is danger, this isn't right, something doesn't feel good, listen to that voice at that time. And 9 times out of 10, you won't be a victim.
I've heard a Leo say that before. And we haven't had that on a safety brief in years, ever. In all these years we haven't heard. That's a good one. I like it.
It is. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Charley Foley with Flags for the Flagless. Go to that website. Give him all of your money. Charley, I can't thank you enough for taking all of the time because, man, we gave normally it's a 20-minute interview, but, man, we gave you the whole show. So we really, really appreciate you taking all of that time all of that cigar.
I'm appreciative of both of you just for getting the word out, man. And I'm sorry, 20 years as a cop and 10 years with the flag, there's so much positivity out there that I want to share with people. So I hope to see you guys again, and we cross paths. Come visit me in Arizona, man. You have a good time.
You will. You'll be hearing from us. I ride motorcycles down there, so you'll be hearing from us.
Awesome.
Great to have you. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks very much.
Have a great rest of your night.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye. What do you got for the safety brief, homeboy?
That was freaking awesome.
Wasn't it?
That's gonna be top 3 favorites of mine.
I agree.
Hands down. I don't care what anybody else say. That was one of my favorite shows.
I agree.
I can't believe I missed 7 minutes, 8 minutes or something like that of it.
Look, man, when you gotta go, you gotta go. That's just all there is to it.
That was a corrupt file that you downloaded. Anyway, I commonly say dress for the occasion. That is part of your safety brief. What you put on your feet and things, so forth. Also, think about what you're doing in the web. Okay, there are things that you could do that might compromise your well-being, like shoving T-posts in the ground where there's a lightning storm.
One of my favorite times in life. I like telling that story now.
I love telling that. Everybody's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I was in the skid with the fucking tires down. I don't give a shit.
Rob's feet are feeling fuzzy all of a sudden. I'm like, we're going to die.
Be careful of your environment and the weather. I've seen some pretty wild things before. And I'm sure most everybody that's been alive for 20 years even has seen some crazy storm. If you're stuck in it the wrong way, it'd be a bad day. So, hey, pay attention to your weather. Act right. Be safe.
POV inspections are extremely important. Make sure you inspect your POV, especially before you hand it off to somebody that you care about. All right, you're done. Get the fuck out of the chair. All right, folks. Hey, unless you're living under a rock, you may or may not have seen it. Our nation lost 2 firefighters last night to a psychopath. Remember, and every single time, I say this constantly on this show, every single time that our nation's veterans, service members, firefighters, police officers strap on the boots, every time they do it, they're stepping into danger and they're doing dangerous things. So tonight, when you say your prayers, keep in mind those families from those firefighters from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Their lives have been changed pretty drastically. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching and listening to From the Ashes on About Face Media. I sincerely appreciate your time. Have an excellent 4th of July weekend. Keep all of your fingers and toes if you can. And thank you very much for being a part of From the Ashes on About Face Media. We really appreciate you listening in tonight. That was a great show. So thanks a lot, folks. Have a great night.